Hello, welcome to the third video in this series of my bucket list, my 100 desires. I hope you're inspired to write your own list, and I hope that you share it with me. It's really a game changer, and it's exciting for me to know that it's inspired someone to write their own list. I'm 58 years old, and this list was absolutely a game changer for me. And it's fun to have these big dreams and to think that they might possibly could come true. So enjoy this video and please like and subscribe. I'll keep posting content if you keep watching. Thanks. Number 39 on my list was memorize a famous poem. So this one was a really cool one to check off, actually. So I chose the poem Caged Bird by Maya Angelou. And I always admire musicians that know the words to all these songs. So this is what that one felt like to me. Like I got to know all the words. Number 25 on my list was go on a hot air balloon ride. So I have a girlfriend that moved from Houston to Albuquerque, New Mexico. Her name's Barbie Northrup. And if you know anything about the balloon fiesta in Albuquerque, New Mexico, it's like the largest balloon festival in the world. And one of the few places where you can still walk onto the field next to the hot air balloons as they're blowing them up. And they do releases of hundreds of balloons all at one time and lots of like art balloons, and it's really, really magnificent to get to see all those balloons go up in the air at one time, and to be a part of that festival was amazing. And it was awesome to be there with my friend Barbie. She lived there. She knew all the ins and outs, like the best place to park and how to get in and out of there. And I got to stay with her and spend time with her. So on October 31st, 2017, I got to check off number 95 on my list, which was celebrate Halloween in New Orleans. So my niece met me there. She lives just about an hour and a half from New Orleans. So she met me in New Orleans. I got to hang out with my niece, Christina, and I had made these little Halloween costumes that were the little hood with the ears, and we got to be black sheep. So I felt like that was pretty suitable for what we were up to. The seventh thing that I wrote down on my list was to take a photography class. And I ended up doing an online photography class with iPhone photography because that's what I always have with me. You know, I'm not going to carry an extra camera and all that gear, but I always have my phone with me. And I feel like taking this class was a game changer in my photography. Like it really kicked it up a notch. And I got a few new editing skills with the photos that also make a huge difference. Just being able to pull things out of the shadows and, you know, tweak the color a little bit, add a vignette. So I feel like I've taken some absolutely stunning photographs. And with all the traveling that I was doing, I felt like it was important to be able to capture those images in a more beautiful way. Number 61 on my list, which was the 26th thing that I got to check off, was hear Andrea Bocelli in concert. So while I was in Albuquerque at the Balloon Fiesta, I mentioned that to my friend Barbie, and she's like, oh my God, I would love to see him. So she and I ended up meeting in New York and going to the Andrea Bocelli concert, which
When stars gone
magnificent experience to hear the most famous tenor in the world sing live in concert. And the people that he brought on stage with him just really made the show. And it was so fun to get to share that experience with Barbie. She's an amazing friend, and she gets so excited about things, and it's fun to be a part of her excitement as well. Number 70 on my list was create my own bumper sticker. So this one, I love my bumper sticker. My bumper sticker is "Yes is where the fun is." So I came up with this one. I got an invitation one night to do something, and normally I would have said no. Just the way the invitation was delivered, it didn't land quite right with me, but I decided to go ahead and do it. So I went ahead, I accepted this invitation. It ended up being one of the absolute funnest nights of my life. So the next morning, I came up with this bumper sticker, "Yes is where the fun is." And it's like, that was one of those invitations. Like, I'm so glad that I said yes to that. And I find that sometimes people's automatic is no. And I think that when you say yes, life gives you more things to say yes to. Number 69 on my list was to write my will. I guess I had been putting it off, or maybe I didn't feel like I had enough, to worry about. But as I began accumulating more things and thinking about, my daughters that I leave behind, and just trying to make things easier for them if something were to happen to me. Number 58 on my list, and the 28th thing that I got to check off, was explore the Galapagos Islands. So I had been to Burning Man, and I met this couple, Jen and Adolfo. Fell in love with them. They were planning a 9-month around the world trip. And so they shared their list of places that they had planned on going. And I shared with them my list and what I had been up to. So they said, "Why don't you join us? Pick out something on our list and join us." So I picked out the Galapagos Islands. So I met them in Ecuador, and we booked the trip in Ecuador to go to the Galapagos Islands. And what a magical experience. One of the highlights from that one, and I don't have a video or a photo of this, but we were snorkeling, and there were these giant sea turtles in the water, and I was just like following their arm movement with my arm movement, and just getting lost in the moment of swimming with these giant sea turtles. In January of 2018, I got to check off the 4th thing that I had written on my list, which was hike Machu Picchu. I was there with my friend Samuel, and this experience, when we got there, we booked the tour for the afternoon. You can either book morning or afternoon. And it was kind of a drizzly, rainy day. So we got there, and there were maybe a couple of hundred people at Machu Picchu. And our tour guide said, "You have no idea how lucky you are to be here with so few people." So we get there and we walk up, and I have these moments sometimes when I travel that just take my breath away, like I did, on the Great Wall of China. But this one at Machu Picchu, I literally couldn't speak for the first 20 minutes that I was there. I was so full and so moved with emotion that I just couldn't speak. It was more than just having a moment. It was a full 20 minutes of just breathtaking awe, I guess you'd call it. So Machu Picchu just struck a chord with me as just being maybe one of the most magical places I've ever been to. Number 78 on my list, and the 31st thing that I got to check off, was see a movie by myself. And I know this one sounds a little bit odd and maybe not that exciting, but some of the things that I put on the list, I put them on there just to have the experience. And I haven't done it again, so I don't know that I loved I don't know that I loved going to see a movie by myself. I guess I'm very social at heart. But 78, yeah, go see a movie by myself. I saw The Greatest Showman, which was a musical. The 87th thing that I wrote down was to send myself flowers. And I wasn't dating anyone, didn't have a boyfriend on Valentine's Day of 2018. So I sent myself flowers on Valentine's Day. I've learned that that's probably not a good idea. The first bouquet that they sent me looked like someone drop kicked it across the yard before they delivered it. So I called and I had to complain because it was kind of expensive to do that and they looked terrible. So they made up and sent another bouquet, but I think the florist was just pretty overwhelmed with all the Valentine's Day orders. The 33rd thing that I checked off was number 91, sunbathe on a beach in Greece. This was another Groupon trip that I booked. My girlfriend Alba Torres went with me. We found this trip. It was 10 days in Greece for $1,100. It included round-trip airfare, transportation, ferry transportation to the different islands, all of your accommodations, and these were nice places. They were like 4-star hotels. A couple of them were a little bit off the beaten path, but they were good about providing transportation to where the action was at. So Alba and I spent 10 days in Greece just exploring the islands. I love the one-on-one time with her. We had an absolute blast. And even though the beaches aren't that great as far as sunbathing goes, they're a little bit rocky. I wasn't planning on that, but we did get to spend some time on the beach and also had one of the silliest, funnest nights. We'd walked into a bar just to have a cocktail, and this group of people were in there and they were just hilarious. So we stopped to, take a photo, and there was this big random dog just walking by, and the guy that was, in the group of people that were already there just goes up and picks up this giant dog to pose for the photo. We were like, oh my gosh. And he was like picking flowers out of the bar's bouquets and just giving them to people. And they were just letting him do his thing. He was having an absolute blast, and so was everyone else. Number 38 on my list was break a dish on purpose. So Alba and I are in Greece, and we see this little billboard advertising a play, which was a Greek wedding. So the play, it's like you're part of the family, and the actors would come over to you and they would say, cousin. They get you up and dance with you, and part of the Greek wedding tradition is to break the dish for good luck for the wedding couple. So Alba and I got to break a dish on purpose, and what a better place could there possibly be, a better place to do that than Greece? So thank you for watching. Thank you for taking this trip down memory lane with me. Hope you enjoyed the video. Hope you're inspired. I hope you give me a thumbs up, and I hope you subscribe to the channel. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time.